Democrats are done, gone. In the wilderness, we're going to hear from multimillionaire Bernie Sanders as he begs for money. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. We got Bernie Sanders, we got Democrats saying their party has nothing left. We're going to go into the tariffs. We're going to show how Lester Holt lost his job. Massive shakeup in media. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. Hope you guys have subscribed. Like and share. That really helps us out a lot. Let's watch Bert. Look at this homeless guy we found. Bernie, when you're framing your picture, put your face in it. People don't want to see the sky in the background. That's not what your video's about. It's not about your giant coat.
I am once again asking for your financial support. I don't have to tell anybody that we're living in dangerous and unprecedented times.
When they say, I don't have to tell you, and then they tell you something, they do have to tell you. He's going, I don't have to tell you that we're living in dangerous and unprecedented times. Guys, I don't have to tell you that Bernie Sanders is a huge loser.
We are fighting now against the oligarchs, Elon Musk and the others, who are essentially running the government, the richest people in the world. We're taking on Trump's movement toward authoritarianism, putting more and more power into his own hands, undermining the Congress, challenging the courts, not knowing what the Constitution is about. We are right now engaged in a major struggle to make sure that the Congress does not pass legislation which gives massive tax breaks to billionaires and then cuts Medicaid, education, and programs that working families desperately need. I am going to be running around this country along with others to rally the American people, to continue the fight for justice, to stand up to Trump and the authoritarianism that we are seeing. To be successful, we're going to need your help. So please, if you can send $27 or anything that you could afford, we'd much appreciate it.
$27, that's kind of specific. Any of you going to give $27 to this millionaire communist? He's going to go around on a big tour in America to try and bump up the Democrat Party. Good luck, Bernie. Now, here's Peter Navarro, the guy that the Democrats, the Department of Justice, threw in prison on the goodness of Trump's tariffs.
Okay, you're absolutely right that this is not a left or right issue. It's an American issue. And what these countries are doing is discriminating against our biggest tech companies. And they do it in a way where this DST, the digital service tax, only applies to the very largest companies. And it's always the American companies. And meanwhile, they use them to promote their own national champions inside the country. Effectively, they steal our tax revenues from us. And here's how this works. The DST basically taxes the revenues of these companies in their countries. And those are then deducted from profits that the companies would otherwise pay corporate taxes on here. And it's just outrageous. And this has been a contagion. It started in France in 2019. They put on a 3% tax. President Trump immediately cracked down on that, and they backed off, and there was negotiations. But then in the last 4 years, the Biden administration kind of let that go, and there's been a contagion. This is what we worry about here. It started with France, but now it's Turkey, Spain. You've got it spreading to Africa now. You're spreading to Asia. And the danger here is that these things are going to be used in a punitive way to punish. And who's involved? You got what are digital services? We should ask that question. It's like Amazon with its cloud computing, its online marketing, Meta with its social media, Google with its digital advertising, things like that. And it's literally billions of dollars. So the boss says that's not going to happen anymore. He embraces what we call the philosophy of reciprocal trade. So if they're going to harm us, we're going to respond in kind with tariffs until they back off. And I think these countries, Kate, are going to learn that the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And President Trump's strength here is going to save American taxpayers billions of dollars.
It's till they back off. I just want to emphasize that about tariffs. Tariffs are not meant to be permanent. That's why it's not a principle to have a tariff. It is a principle to use them You artificially use them against a country until they back off on their own taxes. And in this case, I sell books internationally, and many of my European people who buy my comic books, available in the link below at the Doug TeNapel library on Shopify, they put a VAT tax on it. They'll put any kind of a tax on an import, and then their customers have to pay it. And what they're doing is they're trying to steal money from American businesses. That is, the American business gets damaged by that amount of money that their customers have to pay. A place like France doesn't have to have a great company or a profitable company like Meta, but they get all the benefits of Meta just for doing business in that country. They charge a tariff or a tax on it. So Trump goes in and scares them and just goes, fine, I'm going to raise taxes on all these other ones on your imports, stuff that France exports to us and we import. We're going to raise all those taxes on everything your country makes. And then suddenly they go, oh, we can't afford it. We have to be fair and back down. And then all the prices come down. So all the Democrats that are saying Trump's tariffs, and a lot of the Beltway Republicans too, are going, we don't do tariffs. Those are unfair. These are unprecedented times, and Trump is trying something to shake up the economy, and I think it's going to work. Here's Ilhan Omar with her contempt of the American voter. She despises voters.
These people are just idiots. I really, I'm at the point where it's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people, because the level of stupidity that they are displaying every single day is frankly embarrassing. Not
You know what's embarrassing? Your head looks like a mollusk.
just in Congress, but as Americans, and the fact that these people are allowed to say just the most ridiculous things tells you that the dumbing of the United States has arrived.
The dumbing of the United States, people are allowed to say ridiculous things, like you married your brother, which is true, to get him in the country.
Because how else do we get a Trump presidency again?
How else do you get a Trump presidency other than the dumbing down of America, which I automatically have to ask because Ilhan Omar is voted into office. Doesn't she have to admit that at the very least is also because of the dumbing down of America? There's no other explanation for it. Now, the best news of all I saved till the end here. We've got a couple of articles. This is the big one. Lester Holt. This is from Daily Variety. Lester Holt to exit NBC Nightly News after a decade behind the desk. There he is. Zero talent, leftist, you're gone. Lester Holt. NBC News anchor, known for his ability to anchor hours of breaking news coverage without taking a break, is finally ready for a breather. How does he pee if he doesn't take a break? Unless he has a ureter bag. The NBC News veteran plans to step away in early summer from his anchor duties on NBC Nightly News, and nobody notices, which he has held since 2015. After that, he plans to devote himself full-time to NBC News' Dateline, which he has anchored since 2011. Okay, so that's not going to help anything. And finally, I have this last headline on the Hill. Democrats need to make a compelling case to win. This is by Doug Schoen. He's the guy that used to work for the Carter administration, ran the campaign. He's a Democrat, but man, he's really good. And he's been sounding the alarm on the Democrat Party for years. Slightly more than 1 month into President Trump's second term, Democrats have yet to figure out how to effectively counter him and make a compelling case to the public. So they still don't have that initial case. Now, they're going to blame media. We've already gone into some of this. They're going to blame that Elon Musk owns X. No, that's about once you have your message, getting your message out. And they can't figure out even what the message is. They have a first base problem. They can't even get they can't even get up to bat until you have the right message. Indeed, despite the multitude of opportunities that Trump has handed Democrats, I don't know what those would be, the party writ large appears unable to muster anything more than procedural opposition, as M. Jessen described it. Which topic can anyone tell me? Be generous to the Democrats in the chat. Tell me what possible topic could they put out that would be popular against Trump's agenda? What position? It's not going to be DEI. It's not going to be trans. I can't think of one. They keep saying like they have to represent the voters and the people, but they're so disconnected from the common man, From the farmer, how about free ethanol, free government pork? Is there anything they can give to the poor that Trump isn't already going to give them more by making government more efficient, reducing taxes for everyone? What can they all, because Democrats go around going, look, we'll give you welfare. We're going to give you welfare, and start trying to take away your education. And instead, the Republicans are exposing waste in education, which is going to make education more efficient and more better. Let me know if you guys come up with anything. Thanks for watching. I'm Doug in Exile.